you all for joining. This is Soft Skills Masterclass for students. My name is Abiola Sunday Awokiyesi. I'm a soft skill instructor at Mindklass. We have a number of instructors who will be instructing you to develop your soft skills days afterward. Thank you once again for joining. I want to say thank you to Mrs. Anifat Sadu for being present. I want to say thank you to Ifeoluwa. Thank you to Mr. Mukhtar Adejari. I want to say we love you all. Thank you for joining. So today, as an introduction, we are looking at the life of a young man whose name is Sam. He threw a stone to the fowl of his mom on a particular day, and the fowl died. So when the fowl died, he thought no one knew what he did, but his sister, elder sister, was right behind him. So his elder sister asked him to give him 100 naira so that she wouldn't tell their mom. But Sam replied saying that he doesn't have 100 naira, but he pled with his sister not to report him to their mom. But his sister had a plan. She had a plan to enslave Sam because of his manner of addressing the problem before him. So the next day, mom asked Sandy to wash the plate, sweep the compound, but Sandy decided to direct that domestic duty that was given onto her by their mom, directed to Sam. And she replied, mom, saying, Mom, Sam will do it. Without hesitating, Sam went headlong to wash the plates and sweep the compound on her sister's behalf. On his sister's behalf. The next day, mom had Sandy to go fill the drum with water. And she replied again, saying, Mom, Sam would do it. Their mom refused to interfere in the drama that was going on between Sam and Sandy. So it went long, it went for several days. And she further approached Sam again, saying, Sam, you remember that foul? Make sure you fill the drum with water, else mom will hear what you did. So Sam, as a result of the lack of etiquette, right manner, and conduct, to address the challenge that was before him, he became the slave of his sister. He was enslaved by his sister as a result of the use of wrong manner. And that's why we are looking at the topic today, Introduction to Etiquette, Manners, and Conduct. Introduction to Etiquette, Manners, and Conduct. By the end of today's course, we trust students will be able to understand the meaning of etiquette and manners or conduct. We'll be able to understand the basic elements of etiquette. We understand the importance of etiquette. We understand the type of etiquette, and in the end, we'll be able to improve their emotional intelligence. The ultimate goal of learning manners, of learning conduct, of learning etiquette is to improve students' emotional intelligence, is to ensure that you develop a developed way of relating with yourself and others around you, is to ensure that you are able to behave with your others in the right manner. And that is what we are looking at. The word for today is the way is better than the heart. The way is better than the heart. For example, as a student, the way you eat is better than the act of eating. The way you speak, the manner at which you speak to an elderly person, the manner at which you speak in the public is better than the act of speaking. There are some in life that it would have been better that they had not spoken at all than speaking in the way they spoke. For example, the way you address an elderly person is much more important. The way you address a public figure, the way you address a popular person, the way you address mom and dad is much more important than the address itself. The way you greet, the table manner, all these are etiquettes with which the way is much more important than heart. The way you answer phone call, the way you relate with friends and families, all these are the elements of etiquette which we will be looking at today. Don't forget that today is introduction to etiquette, manners, and conduct. So don't forget the word for today is the way is better than the heart. So your understanding of the way of doing things is much more important than the heart of doing things. So what is etiquette? Number one, etiquette means the rules of right behavior, the rules of behaving right, the rules of right behavior. It shows that there are wrong way of behaving. There are wrong way of relating with families and friends. There are wrong ways of answering phone call. There are wrong ways of addressing strangers. There are wrong way of sitting as a girl. There are wrong way of speaking. There are wrong way of greeting. So all these must be addressed to ensure that we relate well with others, to ensure that we, live peaceably with the young, the old, the elderly, and the stranger. And that is one of the goals of etiquette, which is part of what we're looking at. What is manner and conduct? Manner and conduct in the simplest form simply means the way a person behaves to others in a particular situation, place, or situation. So the way a person behaves toward others in a particular place or situation. For example, the way you relate with your teacher will be different from the way you relate with your friend. A very close friend to you, whom you are of same age, there's high tendency that you call that friend of yours by name. You call him Sam, you call him Cynthia, you call him Sandy, you call him Ibrahim, because you are friends and there's high tendency that you are of identical age. So the way you relate, the way you address that friend of yours will be different from the way you address your teacher, will be different from the way you address an elderly, will be different from the way you address a stranger. And that is why manner has to do with the way. Conduct has to do the way you do things. Don't forget the word is the way is much more important than the heart. There are some people today that the way they address a stranger has brought them great fortune in life, has helped them to become someone great in life. Just by understanding better way of relating with people, just by understanding better way of relating with a stranger. So that is why we are looking at manner of doing things under ethics and conduct. So what are the elements of ethics? Number one is that ethics is fluid. It is flexible. It is not rigid like a constitution, like the constitution of a country that can be very rigid and remain unchanged for several years. But when we talk about ethics, it is fluid. That is to say, it is flexible. That is, it can change over time. So it is just a rule, it offers new guideline of behavior that is best for each time. We said best for each time here, simply because for several years, you will actually discover that over 50 years ago, women in Nigeria or Africa are not allowed to wear trousers. It is against the etiquette of Africa. It's against the etiquette of Nigeria. But further along, after several years, it changed. That's why we said it is flexible. So etiquette is flexible. It is not rigid. Another point here is that etiquette is current. It has to do with the present things, the present time, not the future, not the past. That is why several years ago, around 60 years ago, when a typical Nigerian man wants to eat rice, eat fufu, eat beans or whatsoever, we eat using our hands, our bare hands. But today, the change has occurred. You don't eat with your bare hands today. Even if you want to eat rice, even if you want to eat, swallow food, you eat using spoon, fork, and others. other cutleries. So it is important that you understand that etiquette is current. It is current. No, it doesn't have to do with the past. Another point here is that etiquette applies to everyone, whether you are young, you are old, you are elderly, you are rich or not. It applies to everyone of different of age, sex, race, but it is just different across different culture. Another point here is that it is unpretentious. That is to say, when we are talking about etiquette, it does not have to do with the fact that you are trying to pretend, you are trying to deceive someone. So it is an act that you are not doing deceitfully. You are not doing from your head. You are doing it from your heart. You are doing it with love. You are doing it with your emotion. For example, when you want to apologize to an elderly person, you don't apologize with a straight face. You don't apologize by with a bad motive or because mom or dad asked you to apologize. You're apologizing with a sign of remorsefulness, with the fact that you are a changed person. And that is why this is very important. So these are the elements of etiquette. What are the importance of etiquette? Number one is it promotes peaceful living. For example, when you offend a friend, it is expected, according to the rule of etiquette, that you apologize. The inability to apologize today has led to the death of some marriages. The inability to say, I am sorry alone, has led to the death of relationship that would have grown to become a profitable relationship in the future. And that is why you need to understand and learn the rules of etiquette, because it promotes peaceful living between a child and parents, between a young person and his friends, between an elderly and the old. It promotes peaceful living. Number two is that it promotes acts of kindness. So it portrays you who understand the rule of etiquette and is willing to put it to practice. It portrays you as a kind person, and it helps you to ensure that other person behave in a kind manner towards you. So it ensures that you understand the rule of etiquette, that you promote kindness to yourself and to others. Another point here is that it enhances self-respect. Don't forget that self-respect promotes respect for others and boosts your self-esteem. So self-respect boosts your self-esteem. So as a person, when you understand the rule of etiquette and you are able to put it to practice, it helps you to develop self-respect and self-esteem. This is very important. Self-esteem has to do with boldness, confidence. And that's why the next point is that it improves your self-confidence. You have confidence in yourself. You have the ability to speak. You have the ability to express your feelings, your emotion. For example, when you hurt someone, naturally, when you have emotional intelligence, you wouldn't feel fine. You wouldn't feel happy within yourself. But when you learn the rule of etiquette of relating with others, it helps you to develop self-confidence. It helps you develop self-esteem. You are able to stand and relate better with someone that you have hurt after apologizing. This is very crucial. Another point is it promotes the feeling of thoughtful habits. It promotes thoughtful habits. You are able to become attentive to the feelings of others. You are not just being a selfish person. You are not just someone who is bringing about separation. Have you found friends with whom everybody do not like to relate with? And that is why friends like people like that, they don't go far in life, because you need people to become somebody great in life. You need people to help you to climb up the social ladder. You need people to help you to recommend you for job, recommend you for opportunities. There are people today who have become, who have gotten job because of friends, of the ability to relate well with people. So that's why you need to learn the rule of, you need to learn and put the rule of etiquette to practice. Another point is that it promotes career growth. If you want to grow as a journalist, if you want to grow as an engineer, if you want to go in your career as a public administrator, if you want to grow as a doctor, you will need to understand and learn the rule of etiquette. I work in a place where, where they often bring patients. And on a particular day, a patient was brought in, and one of the relatives of the patient made the intention to enter the company. But the security man tapped the person and asked the person to move out, that he's not allowed to go in, not knowing that the person that he tapped happened to be a Navy staff. But when he tapped the person, because of the tapping and because of the way, the manner at which he addressed the naval staff, commotion erupted in that company. And it led to fights, and the two person who indulged in the fight, they were taken to the police station because of the wrong manner of approaching things. There are those in companies today that because of the wrong manner of relating with their boss, they couldn't go far. Their boss wouldn't be able to recommend them for a higher position because of wrong manner of doing things. So you will need, as a student, to put the rule of etiquette to practice, to grow in your business, to grow in your education, to grow in your career. Another point is that it shows the mark of difference. Everybody acts in almost identical way. Just like one of the ways to become different in the crowd is to learn the rule of etiquette. So when you understand the rule of etiquette, for example, in the class, the way you address your teacher, the way you address your friends, it shows that you are different. It will help you, it will distinguish you among others. It will distinguish you and separate you from others. When you understand the rule of etiquette, for example, the way you answer the phone call, when someone calls you and you pick the call and you reply saying, "This is Sam. May I help you, please?" Or "Who am I speaking with?" But when you answer the call with the wrong manner, you answer the call and you didn't even speak, you're expecting the person to speak to you. These are wrong manner of answering call. Or when you talk about the manner of relating on the social media, when you talk about the manner of apologizing, when you have done wrong to others. So all these, when you learn the ability to apologize, the right manner, it helps you to develop good relationship with others, and you tend to help others to also develop good and better relationship also. So these are the importance of etiquette. Now, we'll be looking at very few types of etiquette today because of our time. The number one that we'll be looking at is the ability to say please and thank you. Please and thank you. This is very important for a young person to learn and understand. Much more importantly, for individuals who are in a relationship, for others who are students, who are relating with teachers, speaking to the teacher, you need to understand how to use the word please and thank you. So how does this apply? You need to understand that please is often used to make polite requests, while thank you is used to express appreciation. When you get a gift, have you learned the habit of appreciating the recipient of a gift? Do you have the polite way of making the request and not just making demand for things? So what is the function of this? Number one is that it shows a sign of respect for others. Don't forget that you don't just get respected by others, but you earn the respect of others. And you earn the respect of others more often when you respect others. And this is very important. Number two is that it provides motivation for others. So it helps you to get others motivated to do more than what they have done for you. For example, as a young person, if your mom buys you a birthday gift and you appreciated it, you said thank you on that day. The following day, you said thank you to her. The next birthday, there's high tendency that you will get something bigger, you get something better. Another point here is that if you approach a teacher and you ask him or her that, sir or ma'am, I don't understand this topic, would you please help out? And after the teacher helps out to help you understand, there's high tendency that if you show a sign of appreciation with your body language, with your facial expression, a sign of appreciation, of thank you, it will motivate the teacher to always want to be of help to you in the future. This is why this is very important. Another point is that it shows sign of gratefulness, that you really appreciate what someone has done to you. How can this be applied in our life? Number one is that it should be part of every request. For example, the word please should be part of every request. For example, may I please have a drink? If you remove the word please, may I have a drink, it will sound as if you are demanding. It will sound as if you are giving a command. So that's why the word please is very important. Another point is that when you are given a gift, you should learn to say a thank you. Another point is that when you are offered a seat, a drink, or a food, learn to say a thank you. Don't forget, it is a sign of appreciation. It is a sign that you are grateful for what is being done to you. Another point here is that thank you should always acknowledge the receipt of an item. So when you get an item from someone, when you get a gift, you should learn the art of saying thank you, that you appreciate what you are being given, either from a family, from mom or dad, or from a stranger. You should learn the habit of saying thank you. This is very important. Also, the word please, to make a request. Please, when you have offended the other person. Now, the second example of etiquette I'll be looking at today is apologizing, the act of apologizing. There are many students, there are many persons who have not learned this act, this ability of simply apologizing. This shows that one is sorry deeply for error that is made, for mistake that is made, for offenses that are made. And don't forget, this will help to promote peaceful existence, peaceful coexistence, peaceful living in family, among friends, and in relationship. If you have not cultivated the habit of apologizing for wrong, for error, for mistake, there's a tendency that such person will not go far in life. Because in relationship, friends will always make the effort to separate themselves from you, because you do not often recognize your wrong. And this is very crucial. When you go far, when you are in relationship, let's say you are getting married or you are married already, apology or apologizing is very important. When a wrong is done, you must learn to apologize, else that relationship, that marriage will not last. And that is why I want to learn how apologizing, how it functions. Number one is that it shows that the one saying it deeply regrets his or her action. For example, if mom asks you to perform an house chores, they ask you to sweep the floor or prepare your bed, and you refuse to do it, or you forgot to do it. When you apologize with your body language, with your face, with a sign of remorsefulness that you are deeply sorry, then you are apologizing. By the time you do this, mom or dad, or whoever you're apologizing to, will be ready to forgive you. And this will help. Also, number two, to calm temper and anger. When you have done something that is wrong to the other person, to a friend, to a mom, to a colleague, or others, when you learn the art of apologizing early, the right time, because when you delay, the act of apologizing, things may go wrong. Little offense may result into big challenges, big chaos. So that is why when you learn the habit of apologizing, it calms temper and anger. It puts an end to temper and anger. Our theory is that it ends hurt of feelings. So it ends hurt feelings. So when you find out that you hurt someone, whether you knowingly or unknowingly, by the time you learn and you apologize, it puts an end to that. And that is why this is very important. It gives everyone a fresh start. So if let's assume you are married now, and you offend your wife or your husband one way or the other, by the time you apologize as the man or a woman, you go down on your knees and you show from your heart deeply that you are sorry. It gives everyone a fresh start, and you are ready to come together again. So as a student, when you offend mom or dad, or you offend your teacher, and you apologize in-depthly from your heart, it gives you and whoever you have offended a fresh start to do something meaningful in your relationship. Another point is that it is often expressed as I am sorry, not just sorry. When you say the word sorry, it is like saying when someone falls or when someone gets injured, you don't say I'm sorry because you have not offended the person. But when you say sorry, when you say I am sorry to someone, you are saying that you have offended the person and that you are sorry. But when you say sorry, it shows you are not remorseful, or possibly you are saying it because of lack of understanding of the word sorry. So it is often expressed as I am sorry. I am deeply sorry for the offense, for the error, for the mistake. This is important. Number 6 is that it shows that you are willing to take responsibility for your action. It shows that you are convinced, you know that what you have done is wrong. And the person that you have offended will be willing to forgive you, will be willing to give you a fresh start, will be willing to give you another opportunity to right your wrong. So how does this apply? How can you apply it to your situation? So students should use the word I am sorry to express apology when they damage, break, or hurt someone, or forget to do a duty. For example, when you step on someone's toes, you should learn to say I am sorry. Even when you found that in the end, it is the person who has hurt you, learn to say I am sorry. Even when you found that you have not offended, but there is a break of relationship, there is an anger, there is a hurt between you and the other person, it is better to say I'm sorry, to put an end to grievances, to put an end to differences between you and the other person. Don't forget that the greatest act of the word I am sorry is when even you have not offended the other person. So learn to say I'm sorry, not only because you have offended, but because you discover that things are not going well between you and your friend, between you and mom, or between any other person that you have around you. Another point is that when you fail to do an house chores, learn to say I am sorry. When you betray a friend's trust, learn to say I am sorry. This is very important. It can be very heavy in the mouth and mind of some people. But when you don't learn this act, you don't go far in relationship. You don't go far in life. So learn to say I'm sorry. When you hurt a family member or a colleague, learn to say I am sorry. This is very important. As we conclude today, and it's with the story of Sam that we started with, you discover that Sam became a slave of his sister because of the manner at which he addressed the challenge that was before him. Not until he decided to change that manner, so of the manner with which he addressed the problem. So he decided to approach his mom with tears in his heart, and he said, Mom, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I am the one who killed your father. So he approached his mom with the right manner, with the right attitude, with the right etiquette, with the right way of relating of putting an end to grievances. And his mom replied, saying that the day you killed the fowl, I was at the window watching everything that happened. You would not have been enslaved by your sister if only you had apologized. So Sam could have, all that Sam ought to have done to become free from the slavery of his sister was to have apologized. So apology is a very important key in the use and the rule of etiquette. So the students, do not delay to apologize when wrong is done. Do not delay to apologize when a wrong has been committed. Don't forget that the word for today is that the way is better than the heart. The way you think, the way you act, the way you behave towards others is very, very important than the heart. Thank you. I want to ask us, we have less than 8 minutes. If you have any question or addition to what we have learned today, anybody? If you have any question, tomorrow we are going to learn other types of etiquette. We have so many, so much. So I would like to hear from you if you have a question, addition, or subtraction to what we have learned today. Okay, if you have not learned, or I'd just like you to unmute yourself, Mr. or Miss Ajibade. I'd like you to say one or two things, what you have learned in today's class. You have less than 8 minutes. From there, we go to Mr. Dejari. And from there, we go to Ms. Uguma. Mr. Ifedua, you have the floor.
Okay, hi everybody.
You're welcome.
From this lesson, I learned that it's very good to have good manners and good etiquette. And etiquette means a rule of right behavior, and it's very current and it's not a thing of the past or the future. There are so many importance of etiquette, like it promotes kindness and peaceful living, even improves self-confidence. And it's very good to apologize. It shows the other person that you feel sober or remorseful for what you have done. And it also brings peaceful coexistence between you and the person. So that's what I learned, that I should learn to apologize and have good etiquette.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Adijari, you have the floor. 1 minute. What did you learn?
I learned to control your anger and always be truthful.
Okay.
And if you wrong someone, be ready to apologize. It costs you nothing to apologize.
Very, very, very correct. Very correct. Thank you very much. Ms. Uguma, you have the floor, please. Just 1 minute. Ms. Uguma, are you there? Okay, I want to say thank you to everyone for being part of today's class. Don't forget that the class continues tomorrow, and we have a lot of the types of etiquette to learn tomorrow. So be ready to ask your question, be ready to contribute. So I want to say thank you for being part of today's class. Thank you and have a splendid weekend.